So back in August, I took cuttings of a boxwood hedge that my dad has at his house that I actually planted there when I lived there about 20 years ago. And I did it because in the front yard, we're gonna have a garden that's completely enclosed and surrounded by boxwood hedging. And I would need probably 75 to 100. That is not feasible for me to spend that much money on, ready to go boxwood hedging from the garden center. So I wanted to make my own cuttings and free up some of that money to go elsewhere in the garden. And yeah, it's going to take some time. It takes about 4 to 5 years from cuttings to an actual hedge that you can trim and that looks like a hedge. But if there's one thing that gardening has taught me, it is patience. And there's so many other things to do in the garden while these are growing, I'm not really worried about it. So, like I said, back in August, I took the cuttings, and basically to take boxwood cuttings, you want to start out with, well, first of all, a boxwood hedge, or plant at least. And you want to use some sterilized cutters. And you want to take about 5 or 6 inches of fresh growth. So you can see here's some fresh growth, and I'm going to snip these off about 5 to 6 inches down. Now, once I've got those cuttings taken, I am going to strip off most of the leaves, just leaving a bit at the top to help produce food for the plant. But we want the energy to go into roots and not to support all of this green, especially moisture. You want the moisture to stay in the stem. And you're going to take a pot with some damp perlite, and we're just going to stick these bare ends right against the side of the pot. That's going to allow for a lot of oxygen. And it's going to take, about 2 to 3 months to get some decent roots growing on them. So these I have, obviously I could have used pots for each of these, but to grow 75 to 100, I didn't have that many pots. So I used these trays. They're filled with perlite, which is covered in algae now, you can see from being moist so long. But they've got roots. So I'm gonna get another pot, and we're just going to bury these down just to the stem, and the roots are all covered. And that's it. I'm going to keep it in this pot for probably another 6 to 9 months until it's ready to be planted out in the ground. And this pot will be full of roots at that point. So here they are, 75 brand new rooted boxwood cuttings that in 4 to 5 years will give me a great hedge in the front yard. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.